As we reach the end of the year, we are often presented with lists of bests and worsts that happened throughout the year, and I thought I would make my own video talking about my favorite LEGO-related things that happened in 2024. Here they are, in no particular order. Technic is not one of my usual themes. I used to build Technic a long time ago, but Technic also looked a lot different then than it does now. But this year, Technic had two things going for it that interested me. First is this 1/8 scale Mercedes Formula One car. I had never built a Technic model of this size, and I loved all the features of this model, like the suspension, steering, and rear differential. I didn't care for the McLaren that LEGO made a couple of years ago, but I loved this Mercedes. Second was part of LEGO's cross theme of space. That led to me getting this model of the Sun, Earth, and the box said it should have been a moon, but I feel like I improved it. Later in the summer, LEGO released the Lunar Rover, which was a fun build, and it's impressive how well it folds up, and is even almost in scale with the Creator 3-in-1 astronaut. Considering that the Saturn V is my favorite LEGO model ever, it was a no-brainer that I was going to get the Lunar Rover. At this time a year ago, I would never have thought I'd make a LEGO video. I had a hard time figuring out how to just take a still picture that I could send to Jason and Alex on the Bricking News podcast. However, early last year, they announced a one-year anniversary contest where they would give a Blue Bricks Klingon Bird of Prey set to whoever submitted something that delighted them the most. Well, provided that person lived in the United States. I really wanted to enter, but I figured I had no chance with all the other talented builders out there. But I had a few things on my side. I had recently built several Star Trek sets. I know Alex loves Star Trek, and my daughter Emily showed me how to create backgrounds to make the ships look like they're in space, the final frontier. After that, all I had to do was write some Star Trek puns, which, unlike building, is something I'm pretty good at. I actually had another idea for a video I wanted to make before that, and it all started with the Bricking News t-shirt. I had ordered one for myself, and Emily said she would like one, so I ordered one for her. But I received two by mistake. I thought it would be funny if I had both of my daughters pretend to be Jason and Alex and exaggerate some of their mannerisms. But then Jabo from Brickzar made a very similar video out of that concept, so I felt like I couldn't really do that anymore without it looking like I copied him. So I changed directions and thought about those Snickers commercials where they say, "You're not you when you're hungry," and I thought that I could have my daughters act like the opposite of Jason and Alex, and that's how the Brickers commercial came to be. It was well received, so we started making other sponsor videos whenever we got ideas. And I noticed every time one of our sponsored videos was played, I picked up a few new subscribers, which eventually led me to deciding to try posting more videos, and that has eventually led to me posting this video today. One of our annual traditions in non-COVID years, dating back to 2015, is going to Brickworld when it comes to Indianapolis every March. In the past couple of years, my brother and his wife have come from out of town to join us, and we have a great time experiencing all the impressive builds, and Emily is always ready for all the interactive experiences, and who doesn't love a good Great Ball contraption? But this year we made a bonus trip to the Big Brick World in Chicago in June. Now, we didn't go for the full multi-day experience, but we still saw some super cool builds. Like these art pieces that have different images depending on how you look at them, and I'm always a sucker for Star Trek. We also got to meet that most famous of YouTube celebrities, Giant Oswald. Oh, and we also met Jason from Jason's Bricks in 5, and his wife, who I believe took this picture, and Joey from Brick Trains and his family were there. They were kind enough to share some of their time with us, mostly while Emily was off building this dragon. And they gave us lots of stuff, including some sig figs. And then they probably regretted that, since I immediately used those sig figs in another Bricking News sponsor video.
I did watch 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea this week, so that kind of makes me an expert.
It's kind of silly looking, but it's grown on me.
In recent years, we have taken a summer vacation in Florida, and each year we've gone to Legoland. To be honest, at age 13, my daughter should be too old for Legoland, but Emily still loves it, and Julie finds things to enjoy. Actually, Julie was much more interested in Miniland, especially since she joined her school's marching band this year. And of course, the highlight for me is going to the big shop, usually to look for exclusive sets. I enjoyed the trip, but sadly, I think it will be our last one for quite a while. I've generally been hesitant to create custom creations, or mocks, But I felt more comfortable trying a mosaic because, unlike most LEGO creations, it is two-dimensional. It also closely resembles one of my other hobbies, latch hook rug making. I finally decided to try and make a mosaic out of one of my custom designs, this checkered flag with the race car on it. But I wasn't entirely satisfied with the results. I eventually went for a different design, and I'm much happier with it. While I generally love LEGO, there are two things I wish they did better. Create sets in certain licensed themes and create better value. There have always been other brick building brands, but almost all have generally fallen short of LEGO in some way. But the lower prices and unique designs, and in some cases built-in light kits, piqued my curiosity, and some brands have been received very positively. Now, not every non-LEGO set was a bargain. These two Easter sets I bought off Amazon were challenging. This one, I believe, had slightly smaller bricks and was difficult to keep together, while this one was nearly unbuildable with certain pieces that just wouldn't hold. This haunted house from WeBrick started out okay, with the only problem being that the pieces were a little bit hard to press together. But there ended up being a few pieces missing, and then the steeple of the house took several attempts to get it to hold, and as you can see, it never actually came all the way together. But there were three brands that had something I liked. Bluebricks has licensed Star Trek sets, and I have bought several. The building experience was just okay, but I generally liked the finished models. I didn't like the $35 shipping charge, but the lower prices of the sets easily offset that. There were a few other problems with design on some models, but I admit to having a blind spot when Star Trek is involved. Fantasy is a brand I first heard of from Jason's Bricks in 5, and thanks to a number of discounts and my own appreciation for Sherlock Holmes, I bought this officially licensed 221B Baker Street model. This was a really good model with numerous references to both the original stories and the more recent TV series with Benedict Cumberbatch. The pieces required just a little more force to put together, but I didn't worry about anything coming apart, and it was less than $100 for about a 3/4 size modular building. Finally, there was Fun Hole, which I bought 3 sets from, but I've only had time to build one, the Ski Lodge. I recently reviewed that set, and other than the flame elements, I had no problems building it, and it looks great. And it appears that all Fun Hole sets come with lights and are well designed to have you install the lights as you build and include specialized bricks to avoid damaging wires. A comparable LEGO brand set would cost twice as much. I have 2 more Fun Hole sets that I will build sometime in 2025. I've already talked about the LEGO focus on space in 2024, but I only bought 2 sets in that theme, the 2 Technic sets I mentioned earlier. But there were 2 other sets I was very happy to get. One was Barad-dûr, or as Emily called it, the tower from the LEGO Batman movie. I like this not necessarily because this was a Lord of the Rings set I really wanted, it's probably only 4th or 5th on the list, but because it means LEGO is continuing to produce Lord of the Rings sets, and I hope they'll maybe get to sets for Bag End and Minas Tirith. The other is the Nightmare Before Christmas set. Jack and Sally had appeared as brickheads and collectible minifigures in the past, and Nightmare Before Christmas had been a LEGO Ideas finalist before, but this was the year we finally got a set for our favorite Halloween movie. I know I said that this list was in no particular order, but I can't hide how much I've enjoyed building rebrickable models this year. I had gotten this 3-in-1 surf shop as a Christmas gift, and saw there were many free rebrickable instructions for it, so I ended up getting 2 more copies of the set, making each into a different model before combining them to make this aquarium. I also found that there were lots of models that used multiple copies of the 3-in-1 castle, so I picked up extra copies of that set whenever there was a discount. So far, the only rebrickable model I've made from those sets is a haunted house, but I have further plans for those sets in 2025. I also built models using a LEGO store set, and even built this whale, even though I forgot to take a picture of it. I also built an upscaled Santa Claus, a micro-scale version of the Lion Knight's castle, and my favorite one of all, this botanical garden I built with Emily. There is so much I'm looking forward to next year. First of all, I have a backlog of castles, including the Lion Knight's castle, which I've had for a year, and the rebrickable castle project I want to do. Plus, there will be the Bricklink Designer Program Forest Castle, which should arrive early next year. I also have a huge backlog of Star Trek sets, and I want to prioritize those and make some videos about them. As for new LEGO, I think the Tudor Corner modular looks amazing, and I'm going to make it only the second modular building I've bought. the bookshop being the other one. I'm excited for the F1 collaboration, and I've already made plans for how I'm going to display the 10 new Speed Champions cars. And if rumors can be believed, I'm optimistic there will be a new Lord of the Rings set, and it might even cost less than $400. And then recently, it has been said there will be a $1,000 Death Star. Now, am I eager to spend $1,000 on a Lego set? Absolutely not. But one thing I have always wanted is a Lego Death Star, and not like the last one, where it was more like a set of vignettes than a Death Star. I have never bought a Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series set because I'm satisfied with having the playscale versions of each ship at less than half the price. But I don't think we're ever going to see a playscale Death Star. Finally, I want to keep digging into Rubricable. I already have several models planned using sets I already have, and I'm keeping my eye out for more. One last note. I feel like I need to address the Romulan in the room. There has been a rumor spreading like phaser fire that LEGO will have a Starship Enterprise later in 2025. While this is exciting, I have reason to be skeptical. It was only last summer that Bluebricks was heavily invested in the theme with 80 different sets, and had just released the first minifigures. Shortly after that, Bluebricks pulled the minifigures, citing legal reasons, and not long after, announced that they were losing the Star Trek license. It's not impossible that LEGO would pick it up, but they've had 58 years to do that, so what is special about now? 2025 feels like a short turnaround time to get an Enterprise set ready for store shelves, and Trekkers will no doubt scrutinize any new models very heavily. Also, there are no milestone anniversaries in 2025, and no new major movies or TV series to drive interest. Now 2026 is the 60-year anniversary of Star Trek, and I could believe that an Enterprise is coming out then. And if there is an Enterprise set, which one will it be? There have been 9 different ships named Enterprise shown on screen, although I imagine we'd get the original series or Next Generation TV series version. Thank you for watching, Happy New Year, and remember, today is a good day to build.